guys, welcome back to another update. So this is going to be for July 16th. It'll be 4 months on Friday. So I began this journey on March 21st, 2023. So it'll be 4 months at the end of this week. My current weight is 271.4, which means I finally broke the 40-pound mark. So I'm super excited about that. I cannot wait to lose the next 10 pounds and hit 50. That's going to be so exciting, and I just cannot wait for that. And I know that you can't rush it, and I know that it takes time, but it's just so exciting, and I just so bad want to get there. So it's been 117 days, and I've lost 40 pounds, which I feel like is pretty good. That's roughly 10 pounds a month. You'll see me kind of like scrolling through my notes here, so if you see me looking down, it's because I'm looking at my notes. So some things that I have written down here are I'm still working on getting a solid stretching and calisthenics workout routine written down for myself. So as I've talked about in previous videos, I really want to start getting into calisthenics and stretching to build my mobility back, to get comfortable with my body again, to get comfortable using my body again, and just trusting myself more. So I haven't gotten there yet. It's been a week. I haven't, sat down, taken the time to look through the exercises that I feel comfortable with and just get a routine written down for myself. I looked for different apps that would do that for me, and all of them you have to pay for. So I don't really want to do that because you don't know what you're getting. You're going to pay for an app just to maybe hate it, and I just don't really want to do that. So I've looked for some free options, and I have not had much luck. So if you guys know any good free options for stretching or calisthenics, please let me know in the comments below. So the reason that I want to do this is I just want to kind of expedite my weight loss a little bit. I am losing weight. I am back on track. However, I just would like to start seeing some more aggressive results. And I think that by adding some exercise in there every day during the week, that will help me get there faster. Actually, I know that will help me get there faster. So I want to do that. I have been on program 100%, with the exception of the potluck at church today. So we did church in the park today. It was really cool. We two churches, my church and another one in my hometown. We got together and had church today at City Park, and it was beautiful. It was a little windy, but it was just a beautiful day. And so we sat outside. We did a potluck afterwards, and of course, I could have found things that, were 100% on program, etc. But like I've talked about on my channel before, I think that it's important to allow yourself to enjoy those moments with friends and family rather than starve yourself of that, because then you begin to resent the process. At least for me, that's how it is. Well, I'm doing this stupid diet and I can't even do potluck with my church. I can't even go have fun with my friends. I can't even, at my friend's birthday party, I couldn't even have a piece of cake. I personally don't believe that those things will break the bank for you. They might slow down your weight loss. You might have to see a few day plateau where you're not really moving because your body is readjusting because you put stuff in it that normally isn't in it. So if you are hardcore, want to be 100%, you don't want to take any chance of, slowing weight loss, etc., maybe that's not the school of thought for you. However, for me, I believe that that's what's working, because I'm not robbing myself of those memories, those fellowship moments, that, memories of having birthday cake, rainbow birthday cake with my 4-year-old niece. I don't have to say that I couldn't even have a piece of her birthday cake. I did have a piece of her birthday cake, and I'm still losing. So I believe it's important to allow yourself those things, of course, within reason. If it's once a week or once every 2 weeks or, excessive amount, then of course you're going to become slow with your weight loss. It's going to become more of a detriment. But if it's exceptions here and there and you're 100% the rest of the time, I personally don't see that as a bad thing. So I did have, pasta salad, and I had a bun on my hot dog and a bun on one of my pulled pork sandwiches. I did have some pulled pork just by itself because I didn't need all of those calories. However, I did want to have one pulled pork sandwich, so I did. I haven't had a hot dog all summer, and so I decided that I was going to have a hot dog for the first time this whole summer. Made it to July without having one, so it's been quite an interesting journey just figuring out what works for me. So the other thing that I want to talk about is water intake. I've talked about this a few times on my channel before, and I still struggle with drinking water. I wish I knew why. Like, I have zero issues against water. I like drinking water. I'm just horrible at it. Like, I don't understand why I suck so bad at drinking water. It's the dumbest thing in the world. And I have water bottles. Like, I have it, accessible to me. It's not that I don't. It's just I'm horrible at remembering and, like, telling myself you need to drink water throughout the day. And I don't understand why. And I'm going to get into it a little bit later as to why I think maybe I do struggle with water. But I'm doing better at trying to drink more water. So I've been horrible this whole time, these last 4 months. I'll go in spurts of, like, I have a really good day where I drink a lot of water and I feel good. And I say, you know what? I need to do more of that because my body needs water. And when you're losing weight, drinking water helps too because it helps to get all of the stuff that's inside out. So I know that I need to drink water and I want to drink water. I'm just horrible at doing it. And I think a lot of it at work is just because I get busy and I don't think about it. I don't think I should, stop doing what I'm doing to go get a drink of water. Or like when I'm at home, I'll be hanging out, watching a show with my mom, or, I'll be in here doing a video and I just don't think about it. So I need to be more cognizant of water intake. So on that, I joined a water drinking group on Facebook. I think it's called Water Loggers. And it's pretty much just sharing how much water you're taking every day, trying to encourage each other to drink more water. Like, some of these people are drinking almost 140 ounces of water a day. And I'm lucky if I'm taking in like 40. So they're taking in like 100 ounces more than me. And of course, I don't count, yes, water is, you make coffee with water. I don't really count that as like water intake. Yes, it's water, but caffeine dehydrates, so it's not, I feel like it's counteractive. So it's like straight up, this is water. Coffee, I don't really count. So today I've had 1 3/4 of a bottle of water. That's what I've had today, and it's currently 3:30 p.m. So horrible at drinking water, trying to do better. That group has seemed to help because it reminds me, like, hey, you need to start drinking water and you need to, like, be better at it. So along with that, I also joined a health accountability group on Facebook. A lot of the same people that are in the Water Loggers are in this one. And it's not anything particular as far as, like, what program you're on, what you're doing for exercise, XYZ. To kind of recap what I can remember, the requirements for the group were pretty much that you had some sort of diet plan or, like, eating plan, what you were doing for food, exercise requirement, which I'm sucking at, where you exercise once a day, a reading requirement where you were reading 10 pages a day, which I also have sucked at, because it's only been about a week, so I haven't been too bad, but I need to do better. Shoot, and I can't remember, I think there were a few more too that were required in the group because it was like an overall wellness, not just diet and exercise. So it's like an overall health aspect. So I'm a part of that group too. And on that, I've just been kind of asking myself, like, what do I want out of life? what do I want out of this journey? I'm kind of on a journey where I'm like reinventing myself entirely. And that necessarily, like, wasn't necessarily the plan, but that's kind of where I'm at. So as I continue to get healthy and continue to grow and continue to learn, more things come up where I'm like, maybe I want to change that. Maybe I want to do this differently. So some goals that I have are, I just want a better lifestyle overall. Like, not even necessarily just like weight related. Yes, that's important, like very important. But I am really trying to focus on like an overall aspect of it. So some of the goals that I have are, of course, eating right, drinking water. I need to start sleeping on time. I am horrible, absolutely horrible at going to sleep on time. Like, I am the worst. So I need to get better at that because I know how much better I feel when I do go to sleep on time. Like last week, I was so tired and I'm like, man, I need to just go to bed early tonight so that I'm not so tired tomorrow and try to get myself on track because I've been horrible for like 3 days of just not sleeping on time. So I came home from work, came home, showered, ate, did all the things, right, that I needed to get done. And then I said, I'm going to bed. Like, that's it. It was 7:30, and I know, like, that sounds really early, but I get up at 5:20, so it's really not that early to go to bed. So I got in bed, and I just put my phone right on the charger and shut my lights off, closed my eyes, went to sleep, slept through the night, and I felt so good the next day. And I need to do more of that. The only concern that I have with that is sometimes if I go to bed that early, I'll wake up at like 10:30 or 11 o'clock. Like when my mom goes to bed or my brother goes to bed, or he'll be up, you know, playing with his friends on their games and stuff or on the phone or whatever, and somebody will wake me up. Of course, not intentionally, but I'll hear something and I'll wake up and then I'm awake. And I've slept for so long, and my body is so conditioned to like 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night, sometimes less, that it feels like it's slept enough that it can just be up now. So then I'm like struggling after that to try to go back to sleep. So I have a period of like from 10:30 at night until like midnight, 1 o'clock where I'm awake and I'm trying to go back to sleep. Then I'll fall asleep. I'll sleep another few hours. And then by that time, my alarm goes off at 5:20 and it's time to get up for work. So I hate that part of it. I don't like waking up in the middle of the night and having to struggle to go back to sleep because then it doesn't feel as restful. So I really want to start doing that. Also, don't mind those things down there right behind me. They're where a utility basin used to be. This used to be a utility room, but it's now my home office. So you'll see those down there. I'm not going to take them out because there's no point, and if I ever so choose to turn this back into a utility room, I'll have them there. So you'll have to just ignore those. But yeah, that was a really big goal. Another one that I have written down here is just learning more about everything. There's so much that I just don't know, and I have this hunger to learn. And so I don't really have a particular like idea of what I want to learn. I just want to learn. So, and I think that comes along with feeling better and having more energy and having the energy to like want to put effort into learning. So I want to learn more about the history of America. I want to learn more about how to can. I want to learn more about all kinds of stuff. I want to learn, I have books already that I want to learn about plants that you can use as medicine. I want to learn about all of that. I want to learn about things in my yard that I can eat that I didn't even know I could eat, and maybe I'll start eating them. Who knows? I have bushcraft books that I want to actually start reading and learning and using because I think it's important for us to know how to be self-sustaining. So that's a big chunk of what I want to learn too, is how to become more self-sufficient. Eventually, I think I want to try to put a well in my backyard. I have underground springs anyway. like my entire life. I've lived in this house my whole life, okay? And every single year for the last 27 years of my life, my backyard's wet in the spring and throughout the summer because I have underground springs in my backyard. That's just how it is. So why not use that to my advantage and put a well back there? Doesn't hurt to have your own source of water, right? So of course you have to look up if that's allowed in your city, if you have to have some sort of special permit, blah, 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 all of that crap. But the actual, like, work of it, I don't think would actually be that bad. So I want to do that. And that's not, like, a this year project. I have so much other stuff to do, which I will get to. Obviously, I want to start exercising more. I've talked about this. You guys are going to think that I legitimately am crazy or like there's something wrong with me, because I say this all the time. I want to start working out. I want to this, I want to that, and I never do it. And I'll talk more about that in a little bit here. I have more down below. So I really do, like, I have the desire to want to do it. I just haven't found the thing that entertains me enough to want to continue to do it. I don't know if that makes sense. And maybe that's just a me thing. Like, I need something that interests me. I need something that holds my attention and something that I feel good doing. Because if I don't enjoy doing it, or not, enjoy is not the right word. If I don't feel accomplished doing it, I'm not going to want to keep doing it. And the last one that I have written here as a goal is sharing my life with others to help in any way that I can, which is part of why I do this channel and my other channel. I might only be 27 years old, but I've lived a lot of different situations in my life in those 27 years. And I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned a lot about healing myself. I've learned a lot of life lessons in that time. And I want to use what I know and what I have and give that to other people. Of course, not forcefully. You can't force someone to want to learn or know. But I want to offer that information to people so that they have that resource of somebody who's maybe their age that's been through that same thing. So I just want to do more. I want to do more with myself, with my life, with everything. So those are some things I have as goals. And I also have some tough things that I struggle with written down. Because like I've said before, this channel isn't going to always be sunshine and rainbows. This is going to be the truth of the matter. So, good, bad, and the ugly. I've said a few times now that I'm going to get to why I think I have, these desires to do things but don't do them. And the reason for all of these things is self-discipline. That is one of the biggest things that I struggle with, is the discipline within myself to, like, force myself to do things. I am the worst at that, and it's something that I struggle with pretty much daily. So with lack of self-discipline or not being able to, like, just force myself to do stuff, I end up staying up late, not pushing myself to work out, struggling to clean eat like I know I should. And struggling to drink water, because all of those things require self-discipline. So it really comes down to, I'm not disciplined enough. So how do I get there? I don't have an answer to that yet. So how I get there, I'm not sure, but I'll let you know when I find out, because I want all of these things. I want to do them. I'm just not disciplined enough to make myself do it. And I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I'm making progress. I'm growing in that part of my life of being more self-disciplined. If I wasn't, I wouldn't be 40 pounds down. So, and that's victory. So the first step in recovery is admitting there's a problem. So obviously there's a problem. I have no problem admitting that. The next part is the tough part of figuring out how to fix that, how to break that wall of, like, incapability of self-discipline. I don't understand it, because it's not in all aspects of my life. Like, when I'm at work, there's so much self-discipline. I'm capable of so many things, and then I get home and it's like, And I don't know why. I don't understand that. When it comes to me, I guess, is how it makes sense. Like when it's something about me, when it just affects me, sleeping, eating, drinking, all of those things only affect me. If it affects somebody else, I respect that person enough to not allow poor decisions to affect them, I guess is the best way to put it. So when it affects solely me, I don't do great. And I don't know if that's a self-worth and value problem, maybe. I'm just speaking out loud here as I process through this. I'm an external processor, so a lot of the stuff that you guys see is me externally processing. So, like it or hate it, that's kind of what this is. So maybe that's a realization. Maybe I don't value myself enough to be disciplined enough to put myself first. And that's a tough thing to realize. Yeah. So, that got tough really quick. So those are my goals. Those are the things that are struggling in my life. So on to the project list. Things that I've been doing in this last week. So yesterday I was at the garden with my mom for probably like 5 hours, I would say. We were weeding all of the tomatoes, got those upright again because some of them kind of were, leaning Tower of Pisa. As for during the week, there wasn't really a whole lot going on. I do my biblical citizenship class Thursday nights. And then the week was kind of just blah. Like I just wasn't doing a whole lot. And last weekend, I talked about what I'd done last weekend, so really no more on the house projects and things, but upcoming projects, things that still need to be done. We need to finish planting the perennials outside. So the one perennial bed is done. There's one outside, right at the bottom of my outside steps that have Juneberry trees in them already. But we got coneflowers and daisies that are going to go in that bed as well that need to go in the ground. I have foxglove. I love foxglove. And we have 3 of those that are going to go in the front of my house, kind of where my other perennials are. And then we also have these flowers. I don't know the name of them. They're beautiful. They're like a tall, bushy style, maybe like 3 feet tall, 2.5 feet tall plant. And those are going to go in the front of the house where the picture window is. But before we can do that, we have to move the raised bed that's already there that has ferns in it and relocate those ferns. So those things will all be happening. We are going to finish painting the house, of course. And that's just an ever-going project. That's going to take a lot of time because we're going to be doing it in between work and all the other stuff that's going on. We have a few piles of dirt around the house that need to get moved. There's one over by the patio that my brother and I built, just of dirt that was removed as we were building, and it just needs to get, relocated out of that area. And we need to finish that patio, put the railroad ties in, the remainder of the border. It just, so that it keeps it from shifting, from the hill sliding in on top of it, because I live on a hill. So we have all of the supplies, we just have to actually get them in the ground. We need to move the raised bed, which I talked about. Landscaping for the back doors. So the back door to my house, there were steps there. Those steps were rotten. We took those off last week, I believe, when we were getting ready to paint the house. We have pavers that we're going to put on the ground. We already have the steps to replace the ones that we took off. So we will put those pavers to give those steps a level base. So we need to do that. That'll probably be easily a weekend or more. I've also been throwing around the idea of just hiring somebody to do it depending on cost. And then the last thing I have on here is the drainage trench finishing touches. So I think it was 2 years ago, we removed this old rusty barrel where the drain tile that we thought didn't work anymore used to drain into. So we're like, oh, no big deal. We'll just take it out of the ground and get rid of it because it's just there. And, we didn't want my niece to fall in it or our cat to fall in it. It seemed hazardous. So we're like, let's just get it out of there. The drain tile doesn't work anyway, right? So we removed it. We backfilled the hole. And, of course, the barrel was literally just like the ring left because it was old. I'm sure it had been there since the 70s when the house was built. But the PVC, pipe that ran along the house that goes under that big rock was still there. So we backfilled everything with dirt and left it. That spring, we had water in the house, insane in the basement. So firefighting the water situation all spring. Now come the next year, it's spring again, and we're getting water in the house again. And I'm talking like water, like a lot. And I'm like, I need to do something. Something's wrong. So it's raining out, of course, because why not add insult to injury and make the ground even more wet? So I go outside, and I'm looking for, is there a pool of water somewhere that I can, dig a hole and get it to drain away from the house? How can I fix this? So I start digging kind of by the picture window, and I'm like, there's a whole lot of water right here. So I'm going to drain it out towards the driveway so I can get away from the house, and hopefully water will stop coming in. So I'm digging trenches, pouring rain, digging trenches, and they're deep trenches. So I get it all dug, and it's kind of draining some of the water away. And I go back over to where that barrel used to be, and I'm like, I wonder if that drain tile still works. So I go up on the back side of that rock and just start digging the dirt out with my hand from under that, or from out of that pipe. And I am not kidding you when I tell you that water started projectile shooting out of that drain tile. Insanity. So it starts draining, and it's draining into that trench that I already dug. And long story short, our house literally drained. The water that was in the house that we were shop vacuuming drained out of the house. So that was the problem. Dumb us, obviously that's the problem, but we didn't think the drain tile worked anymore because it was so old, and we'd never seen it working. So we're like, oh, it's old, it's no good. Big mistake. So that whole trench in the front was dug, and in the backyard, kind of by the foundation of the house, in between the house and the shed, I dug another trench to drain water from the backyard into the front yard, kind of down the front lawn. And so I dug between the house and the shed, around the corner of the house, and straight down the lawn about quarter way, just so that it could go into the front lawn and drain the rest of the way. So I've got 2 trenches at my house, and we just want to make them look nice. So we don't want to put drain tile in them. We don't want to, cover them back up. We want to leave them how they are open right now, but we also don't want them to look ugly or for people to fall in them. So we've looked at a few different options, and we have an idea of what we want to do. So we'll be doing some landscaping with that to make them look nice, and of course get the grass to stop growing in them so that we don't have, mile-high grass growing out of these trenches that are hard to mow. So those are just a few things that we'll be doing throughout this summer and probably next summer, just in case, because I don't know that we're going to get it all done this year. So those are a few things that we have upcoming that we'll be working on. And then, of course, I always end these videos showing you guys what I look like. So I still have my church clothes on per usual. So I'll move my chair out of the way here and just kind of give you guys an idea of what I look like. I don't want to step on my dog either. He's in a bed down there. So this is me and what I look like. that's it. So that is the almost 4-month update. Thanks guys for being here, for being on this journey. And I'm just excited to keep going and to keep you guys posted. We'll see you in the next video. Have a good week and adios.